Hi, this is Amanda Frankel with Our Crafty Playdate, and I posted this card earlier this week on my blog. Some of you may have seen that, and I think I might have added it to my Facebook page too. I want to show you today how to make this sky background. This sky background works in so many different cards, and you can use so many different colors that it really makes it interesting. And I wanted to show you how to do that today. So the first thing that you need to know is you are going to need some Stampin' Sponges, and they come like this in a pack of 3, and as soon as I get them, I immediately cut them up. So I cut them into wedges just like you would a pizza, into 6 pieces, so they end up like a little Trivial Pursuit wedge. God, I'm dating myself there, aren't I? And once I have them cut, when I go to grab them and use them, I may attach a little piece of the cardstock color that I'm going to be using on there, and then I just keep them like that forever. And I store them in this fun jar that reminds me of just a candy jar, and if you're an artist, colors like this are candy, so that makes sense. I'm going to bring in a piece of paper, and I'm going to show you how we're going to go about sponging. So we've got our paper, and the colors that I used in this card here, I used Marina Mist, this color, and I used Pool Party, this color, to give it some extra depth. But today I'm going to introduce a little bit of Wisteria Wonder to my cards. Let's get rid of that back. I'm going to use a little bit of this color too, because I do think skies have a lot of color, a lot of things going on. So what you're going to need is a piece of scratch paper, and I always use either Whisper White or Very Vanilla for my scratch paper, because the texture of this paper is so smooth and so much easier, and it grabs just a little bit differently. It grabs the ink a little differently. So I don't use the colored cardstock for my scrap for this particular technique. And then as you can see here, I've punched 3 different scallop circle sizes out. I've used the 2 3/8, the 1 3/4, and the 1 1/4 size. And the reason that I like a couple colors, or sizes, I'm sorry, is because it does give you some different texture with your clouds. So once I've punched them out, I'm going to glue them together, just so long as they're not a perfectly straight line across the top. You give a little, you can see how that kind of is a little cloud. That's how you're going to get started. And you're going to want to start with your lightest color. So I'm going to start with my Wisteria. And you just lay your little cloud configuration that you've made here down. And then I'm just going to hold it with one hand and brush with the other hand. Just super lightly. You always want to start at the top of your card, because you're going to add color as you go down. I'm going to move it a little bit. See how that works? And instead of putting it exactly in the same place, only lower, I'm going to turn it a little to give a different texture and shape. And I'm going to go pretty light with this first color, because you know what? With color, you can go ahead and add more, but you really can't take it away. Once it's there, it is there. So I'm going to come down here, and I'm not doing everywhere, because again, I'm going to be adding some other colors. So I'm just going to move it way down here and add a little more Wisteria in my sky, and over here. Oh, I got a real dark spot. Let's see if we can kind of buff that out. There we go. And you just want to keep rotating it. And don't forget to show some love to this side of your cloud, because that's just a different side that you can use some texture. So I'm done with my Wisteria. I'm going to close that up and put it over here and show you a little Pool Party. Okay, so with the Pool Party, I'm going to do exactly the same thing, only I'm using my Pool Party little sponge, because I don't like to have to clean those sponges. And I'm just going to start here and go up away from my clouds. And you can see that I flipped it over to be the other side. You don't have to do that. It's just something that you can do every once in a while, so that you can get some different colors and different shadings in there. My scallop circle thing is still a little gluey, because I just put it together before I started here. So I'm doing some really light color here, because I did a pretty dark and heavy with the Wisteria. I went a little heavy-handed on there, but you're going to get the idea about what I'm doing here. And I'm moving it around. Now I'm going to flip it over, and each scallop, you can see better now that I've inked it, this is really tight little little scallops, and this is really big. So that is where I'm going to get some more texture like this. So I'm getting some big here and some really little guys down here. I'm going to move that, close this one up, put that back in my little jar, and start here. So let's see. Yeah, let's go ahead and do it like this. I'm going to open this up. I haven't made my tab, my colored tab, to go on the top of this sponge, so I'm just trying to keep it separated at this point so that I don't mix it up. And you don't want to have to clean your sponges all the time, and they are not expensive. And since you already get, you know, 6 out of each thing there, it's a super affordable way to do it, just to keep it the same way and save yourself some time. Okay, so this is more of a stormy sky, you can see, than my other one. My other one was just a blue cloudy puffball sky. And you can see how this is starting to take shape. I'll do a little bit more and then hold it up closer to you so that you can see how this sky worked. And then after you're done, if you're noticing an area that's just too strong in one color, you can just go over it. You don't have to move your clouds little mask at all. You can just sponge around it like that and kind of smooth it over. As long as you're using your darker color sponge, it won't affect your sponge in terms of putting it back in your ink, so you don't have to worry about that. So there is my sky today. It's a little stormy, which is a lot like it is in Chicago lately. So that will give you an idea of that sky. And you could do a cute thing with the balloons on this, or something else, umbrellas, something that you want out in your sky. But I wanted to show you one more idea for this. So I'm going to turn this paper because I'm going to do this in a landscape configuration. So the scallops, by the way, are retiring. If you don't have them yet, you want to get a hold of these so that you have them in the future. I am going to make a very spooky sky now. So I'm just going to take a piece of basic gray and make a hill just by tearing. Which one do we like? Yeah, that's a pretty spooky hill. Okay, I'm going to set my hill aside, and I'm going to use 2 different shades of gray, because it's all about the shades of gray, right? So this is basic gray here, and I'm also going to use Smoky Slate. And I don't have a sponge for Smoky Slate yet, so I'm going to just grab one out of my bag, and that's my lighter color. So I'm going to start with Smoky Slate. I'm going to use the same clouds. You can make yourself a set of these clouds, and they will last you forever. Just put them where you're going to find them again. And I'm just going to do a little bit here of my Smoky Slate. I don't have to go all the way to the bottom because remember I made that hill. So I can just give myself some sky here. I'm going to come back with the darker colors too. See, that really looks like Chicago today. Oh my goodness. Looks like a photograph. Okay, so there's my lighter color of my sky. And it really, really does look like a sky. Can you tell? All right. Oh, I don't want to throw my hill away. I wanted to get rid of this. Okay. Now I'm going to show you my darker gray here, which is my basic gray. And I'm going to use this a little lighter handed than I would maybe another color, just because it is a super, super dark color that needs to be re-inked, I guess. Okay, that's possible. Well, actually, it works out to my favor because I don't want to go too heavy. You can also take your, you can also use your re-inker. This works really well if you have a tray. I don't know if you remember when I did the floating re-inker and I had a little tray that I put them in. If you do your floating re-inker, you can, or your re-inker just on a little tray, then you can just do your sponge right in there. And then before you put it on your paper, you just want to rub off to the side, and then you can go ahead and ink here. So I've completely made you all seasick by shaking the camera around a lot today. Good to know I'm still good for something, huh? Okay, so I'm going to get rid of this. You can see my spooky sky here. And then I'm going to bring in a little bit of this. This is Smoky Slate also. First, let's glue this down. So I am a big fan of this Tombow multi-liquid glue because it just holds everything everywhere you want it to be. And I'm going to put a little bit on here. And trick of this is dot, dot, not a lot. And you really don't need very much. You really, really don't. And it will hold very well. And I'm going to put this right along the bottom. Well, or along the bottom this way, maybe. That works. Okay, there's my hill. And I can slide it around a little with the liquid glue, which is nice because if I put it on with my snail, once it's down, it is down. And I'm going to use this punch. This is our tag punch. It's also retiring. I think they still have these, but they may be gone. So if you want one, you got to get it fast. And it does make a super cute tag. You can just pop a hole in here and tie it on a gift, and it looks really nice. It'd be perfect for Christmas. I never get rid of my tags because I do so much punch art. But this is the Smoky Slate color that we had again. I'm just going to punch out 2 of those. And tell me that these don't look like little gravestones. All right, and I'm going to stick just that one under there. And just put a dot of glue right there, done. And this one, put a little glue on the back. And then just attach it right here. And of course you could stamp that, or you could write, you know, rest in peace or something on there. And that would be funny. Or even funnier, you could do, you know, 60 or something. You could do somebody's birth year on there, just to have a fun sense of humor for over the hill kind of folks. All right, so that is everything that I wanted to show you today. Be sure that you get a couple of these things before they're gone, the scallop circle and the tag punch for sure. And order yourself a bunch of these sponges. You're going to be happy that you did because you are going to find that we use them a lot on these Movie Mondays, and you're going to want to be able to play along. Thank you so much for stopping by. And this card that I did, again, I did this for our midweek mingle. I'm sorry. Yeah, I did it for midweek mingle, but I also did it for the Wednesday blog hop. We do a coloring down the lines blog hop every Wednesday morning. So if you go to my website, ourcraftyplaydate.com, on Wednesday morning, you will be able to click through a couple of links, and we have a couple of great, really talented folks there, and you'll see what they've done with the colors that we've chosen for the week. Thanks so much for stopping by. We'll see you next week on Movie Monday. Bye-bye.